Welcome back to the channel. You may have noticed that I am wearing long sleeves in this video, which, would be a normal thing for anybody to do, but it's not normal when it's 50 degrees in fucking June! You guys know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, follow on Twitter, follow on Letterboxd, follow on Twitch, and one thing that I can tell you about the Twitch, I know the content has been basically non-existent the past month. I'm sorry, I got a job, trying to figure out life. My bad, guys. Just graduated college, trying to figure it all out. Trivia Tuesday will be returning next Tuesday, June 13th, live on Twitch. Want to get in on the Twitch stuff? Follow there. That'll be a big event. Check it out on Twitter so you catch the announcement. Alright? It's going down. Anyway, movie time. May. Let's get going. I started off this month by watching Ari Aster's Beau is Afraid. I love Ari Aster. Hereditary and Midsommar are some of my most favorite movies to come out in the past 5 years. I'm getting into horror, I'm getting into psychological thrillers a lot more. I think those are two hallmarks of the genre, and he's really changing the way that people want to perceive horror movies in this kind of generation. I think that there's a bit of a transition in the way that we expect these movies to be. And because of that, he's trying to do something super off the wall again, which makes sense. For me, though, I don't know, man. I think it's bad. It's a little bad. I was very, very disappointed by this movie, and I came in wanting to really like it. The one thing I think that especially wears on it is that it's really weird, and it's almost an hour too long. It's 3 hours, and trust me, it feels like it. I wanted it to be over about an hour and a half in. It's not saying anything particularly interesting that other filmmakers haven't already done better or in a more interesting way. And I know that sounds weird because it's just this like magnum like opus of just like sensory overload of all these things that he has involved in these sets. And I commend him for that. The production design is pretty interesting. The performance from Joaquin Phoenix obviously is, it's commendable. Supporting actors do a good job too. It's funny, I'll give it that. It's definitely his funniest movie. But that's not enough to carry it for me, man. There's nothing overarching about this theme that he really expands upon in an interesting way that is worth the 3-hour runtime of this film at all. It's just not. I wanted to be done with it halfway through, and I didn't even know it was only halfway through when it was happening. Again, credit to the production design, credit to some of the performances, but I'm really disappointed by this one. Then I watched Spring Breakers. I don't know why I watched Spring Breakers. It was in my HBO Max watch list, and they were just converting, you know what I mean? So I was like, all right, let's get this over with. I've seen 3 of these girls graduate high school in Disney format, so this was very weird to see them doing coke. You know what I mean? The concept of the movie is very interesting. I think it's executed also in a very niche and off the wall kind of way, to where I feel like it earns its controversial reputation. I'm somewhere in the middle between this is a masterpiece and this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. The repetitive dialogue and the very cheesy sort of plot structure that this thing kind of goes through, I think is where a lot of people are lost on it, because it's a little silly. It's a little silly. But I do think that the commentary it has is very satirical, and I think that it's meant to be like that. I definitely don't think they were trying to make it terrible. And I think that the performances, especially from Vanessa Hudgens particularly, I think are very cool. I don't want to see James Franco ever do something like this again, though. So I'm glad I'm done watching this movie. Give it a watch if you want to be utterly confounded for 90 minutes. Then I watched We're All Going to the World's Fair, and I think this is the movie that impacted me the most this month. It's really hard to kind of explain all the nuance of it, but it essentially involves this teenage girl participating in an online YouTube horror challenge situation. She's part of an online lore community. It's almost like if you took the conspiracy theories surrounding Slender Man and people who are really into FNAF lore and combine them together, and you just had someone who's just really looking for some sort of escape from her life and finding it in a very vulnerable place for her. And there's horror elements to it, but I honestly think the traps that she falls into, as opposed to the actual horror part of this movie, is the scary part. And it made me just feel very fortunate that all the people that were on the other side of the screen when I was her age were like nice to me. If you were ever terminally online at any point in your life, you should watch this movie. It made me feel things I didn't know that I felt about being online as a teenager. So yeah, I don't know. It's very serious, like, way to put this. I give it like a 7 out of 10 as a movie, but I think that as an experience, especially for people like me, I feel like at least some people watching this can relate. It's gonna mean a little bit more to you than it should. Then I watched Step Brothers, a bit of a departure. This is the ultimate, to me, the ultimate, it's funny until it's not kind of movie. Like, there are some pretty good bits in here. I can understand why, if you enjoyed the style of comedy of this whole movie, like, this is the best comedy ever made. But I don't know. It really, all of it has not aged well. I don't understand how anyone could say this is their favorite movie ever. Surely there has to have been a better comedy made in your lifetime. There just has to be. I don't know. There's some parts of it that I think are really funny, but I don't know. At its core, it's just not for me. I don't know, man. Then I rewatched Moneyball. Oh, my Lord and Savior, Moneyball. This is one of my favorite movies. I love it so much. I love baseball. I love the analytics behind baseball. I love Aaron Sorkin dialogue. I love Brad Pitt. I love Jonah Hill in this role. It's awesome. I love how fucking mad Philip Seymour Hoffman is all the time. God. It's just so great. You like sports? Watch this movie. It's one of the best sports movies ever. I don't know what to say. Watch it. Great drama. Fantastic stuff. I watched White Chicks for the first time. On the contrary to A Step Brothers, this is the kind of 2000s comedy that is a little offensive, a little off kilter, that works. I just think the writing's better in this movie. I don't know. There's something about the Wayans brothers, man. They're funny, dude. The scenarios they find themselves in this movie are very interesting. A lot of the supporting actors are very funny. Terry Crews especially steals the show, I think. Just lovely stuff on all ends. Very compelling stuff. Maybe a little bit longer than it needs to be. Overstays its welcome a little bit, but good stuff. It's one of my favorite, like, 2000 to 2010 comedies ever. It's one of the only ones where I haven't, like, cringed, like, throughout. You know what I mean? They did a good job. And I watched Shiva Baby. I never want to watch this movie again. This stressed me out a lot. The dialogue and the scenario, despite being a movie plot, is way too real. This could happen to somebody, and that really freaks me out. Rachel Sennott, I love you very much. I can't believe this is the first movie I've seen Rachel Sennott in. Yeah, Rachel Sennott. What else is there to say, really? Writing's great. Direction's good. I can't wait to see what she does next, and I know she's already been in some great stuff, but that Bottoms movie looks fire, so I'm hyped. Definitely go check it out. It's a quick little romp, and you'll be sweating. It'll be fun. Then I watched Barbarian. I saw this trailer in the theaters, and it freaked me out, and I was scared to watch it. But I saw it was on Max. I was like, hell yeah, man, let's watch it. And it was very, very well done. Not as scary as the trailers made it out to be, which I was very thankful for. I don't know how Justin Long keeps finding himself in these situations, but he does. Acting's very good, especially from the lead's part. She's fantastic. I like the overarching message of, I like when a horror movie has something to say. I think it's nice. Again, whole Ari Aster thing. I like the direction we're going with these kinds of things. Yeah, overall, created a very tight atmosphere. Doesn't overstay its welcome, I think. And then, especially in the second half, really makes the movie into something more than you think it is. Which I always appreciate, there being more layers. Definitely one of the better horror movies of this decade, so worth a watch. Then I watched Bambi, blah blah blah, Disney video coming soon, blah blah blah, I'm at 10,000 words on the script, blah blah blah, I'm really close, blah blah blah. Bambi is some of the best animation in any movie I've ever seen, and it came out in 1941. It is like watercolor paintings are being animated and brought to life. I wish the story was better. I really do, because it could be one of the best movies ever put to screen. But fucking Thumper's in it. I don't know what to tell you, dude. Then I watched Tusk. Don't watch this movie. Read a review. Read the Wikipedia plot. Don't watch it. It's much more interesting hearing about it than watching it, because the creepy parts are sandwiched between about an hour of fluff. This could have been a short film, and it would have been great. Don't watch it. Bama Rush. I was excited to watch this, and I say that because this is one of the most disappointing watching experiences I've had in recent memory, perhaps ever. One of the only things that I can find true solace in is watching other people's drama. I love seeing how things play out, especially sorority stuff. I think it's just, I am not involved at all. I love to sit back and watch. And that's what the director should have done, is sit back and watched. But she self-inserted her own little ideology and, like, personal experience that had nothing to do with sororities into the movie about sororities. She's talking about, like, her personal, like, alopecia, like, skin condition. Make a feature film about it then. Don't put it in a documentary. You could have just, like, put in 10 or 15 more minutes about, you know, the interesting stuff. No offense. It's really not that hard. And I just couldn't help but, like, whenever they were developing something interesting, or they got on an interesting point, like, oh, this girl, like, didn't get in because she's not white, or like, oh, this girl got kicked out for a bullshit reason, we're not going to expand upon that. Here's another experience about me not having any hair. What are we doing here? What's the documentary called? Come on, guys. What are we doing here? Then I watched the original Little Mermaid, and I love this movie. I've gone on a big retrospective, and I've tried to go in order, but obviously the new one's coming out, so I had to watch it. And I remember liking this one as a kid, and it holds up. It's fantastic. It's really tight, cool 80 to 90 minutes. Great songs, great animation, really interesting, like, character development and stories. It doesn't really pull any punches in that regard. The jokes are nice. Animation is beautiful. What more is there to say? It's very well structured. It doesn't really beat around the bush. Gets right to the chase. Villain is interesting. You know, it's one of the first Disney princess movies where I feel like the dynamic between the two people is fleshed out. Isn't that crazy? The girl has feelings. She has emotions. Isn't that wild? I don't know, man. They don't make them like this anymore. I'm telling you. I wish they did. I feel like the only thing we've gotten close to this level of quality is, like, I don't know, Princess and the Frog. And I've seen that once. Maybe it's not even that level. But yeah. Genuinely one of my favorite pure Disney animated movies. Great stuff. Which is why I went to see the new one. And I honestly was pleasantly surprised. A lot of my concerns were qualmed. They were quelled, rather. I was expecting it to be kind of a shit show. The actual, like, shooting of all of it, like the landscapes and how the cinematography looked, it looked fine. It was good. I don't know why people thought this movie was going to look ugly. The only things that really do look ugly are obviously the realistic animated animals. Sebastian, the crab, is really the only one that is fine. It looks fun. Flounder looks stupid. Flounder, by the way, also one of my favorite characters in the original animated movie, and is just absolutely like fucking, like, eggshell wallpaper, like fucking, like, plank of wood, terrible, boring. I don't even know who the fucking actor is for it. He should never do anything like this again. He was terrible. I hate Awkwafina. You know this. This is the second time she has made an experience worse for me this year. I can't believe they let Lin-Manuel Miranda write songs like that for a bird to sing. I can't believe it. The bird does not need to rap. The bird was 60 years old and a man in the first movie. Why did we make her rap? I don't get it. Regardless, of all that. I think Prince Eric is very well fleshed out. I like how they expand upon their relationship even more. I thought that was very cool. I thought Melissa McCarthy did a great job as Ursula. And I did genuinely enjoy the way that Halle Bailey came into Ariel in terms of singing. I don't know who told her how to act, or if anybody ever told her how to act, but I was really waiting for her to do something besides this. The entire movie. Make another face, dude. Her actual, like, voice acting is not bad. Like, you can tell she's feeling these emotions. But when you look like this and you say, oh my god, I can't believe you're doing this. How am I supposed to buy it, dude? How am I supposed to buy that you're feeling bad? I don't know. Overall, though, it makes some good add-ons. I was afraid about the runtime of this movie. You definitely feel it a little bit, especially compared to like the tight 80 minutes of the original, but it's not anything that is terribly unnecessary or wildly, unreasonable, rather. I just think a lot of the stuff, it's the same thing that I would say about any animated movie turning to this kind of live-action style. You lose a lot of the flair, lose a lot of the free-form kind of space that you can have in an animated movie. Like Under the Sea, you have animals playing instruments, and you can have very sharp cuts between all this stuff. And when you have Under the Sea with real-looking animals, they look silly. It looks silly. It also looks silly when you don't, you have all these little quirks in the songs, and you don't, you're not able to, have the animals doing what it says in the song. It's very silly. At that point, change the song. No one's gonna care if you change the second verse of Under the Sea. I don't know. I was gonna make a whole video on this. You guys are just gonna have to listen to my ramblings in this. I don't even necessarily think that it's a bad movie. I gave it a 7 out of 10. Probably closer to a 6 than it is to an 8. But I don't know. If all Disney live-action remakes are like this, then, I'll take it, honestly. This would be a breath of fresh air. But did we need to make this movie? I don't know. Halle Bailey, I love your singing. Please get an acting coach. Please, I beg you. And that's all the movies I watched this month. Woohoo! Yeah, movies. Yeah, list is right there. Yeah, movies I watched. And I watched Beef, also this series with Stephen Yeun and Ali Wong, who's lovely. It's one of the best TV shows I've watched in a while. Also currently watching through Succession, enjoying it a lot. Did get the ending spoiled for me, I won't spoil it for you. But I'm excited to see how it gets there. With that being said, do all the things I told you in the beginning of the video. Enjoy the rest of your night. Hopefully see you around for Trivia Tuesday, or at least for the VOD. And remember, never forget it. I'll be watching movies.